friends, Michelle here. Good to see you. I hope you're all having a fantastic reading day, week, or month. And today I wanted to bring you my top 10 favorite book cover art of all time. As you can see, I have gone ahead and displayed a few of my favorites from this past year that I've read. And I've recently seen a couple booktubers doing videos on this subject, and I thought, yeah, this is really interesting to me. It really is something I absolutely love about books. I make art myself. I do acrylic painting, watercolor, I draw, and so I really find this subject fascinating. It was also a lot of fun for me to go back and find the original artwork that is featured on many of these book covers. So without further ado, here are my top 10 favorite cover art of all time. The first one I want to talk to you about is a more contemporary design. This is a book called Poor Dear by Claire Oshetsky. I acquired this book when I went out shopping for my birthday. I do a yearly book haul. I treat myself to new books every year in my birthday. This is one of the ones I got this past year at the beginning of 2025. Absolutely, this caught my eye. I love the complementary colors, the orange and purple. And I also love when a cover kind of gives you a hint as to what the story is about on the inside. In this book, we're following a young girl named Agnes who suffers a terrible tragedy. And in coping with this, she develops an alter ego, another persona that she calls Poor Dear. So as you can see, we've got Agnes, we've got Poor Dear, the other side of her personality. And I just love it. I love how simple it is, but yet very eye-catching at the same time. The artist who designed this cover is named Vivian Lopez Rowe. I haven't found any other of her artwork, but she is definitely one I will keep an eye out for in the future. Love this. The next one I want to talk to you about is by an author. She is not only a novelist, she is also a visual artist, wildly talented. This book is one of my favorite books of all time as well, and I absolutely love this cover. I'm talking about Cereus Blooms at Night by the artist, novelist, Shani Mootoo. I will show you the original painting that she did. Can you even imagine not only writing and having one of your books published, but also having one of your paintings featured on the cover? To me, it doesn't get better than that. I can't imagine the feeling, the sense of accomplishment you'd have from this kind of an achievement. Wow. So yeah, I don't know the name of this painting. As far as I know, she is listed as the artist who painted this on the inside of this book. And yeah, just beautiful. I've looked at a couple other of her paintings. She has a very unique, distinctive style. She is I believe, Trinidadian Canadian artist. And yeah, wow. Love it. Love this book. And yeah, Shani Mootoo. Fantastic. Next up is a book I have not yet read, but this is a cover that I absolutely love. This is a visual artist who has the most interesting artworks, some of the most interesting paintings that I've seen. Her name is Dorielle Caimi. The book is Curiosities by Anne Fleming, which features one of her paintings here. I will put a couple more of her paintings up as well. And I just love it when the cover of a book just draws you in and you have to know more. And you wonder, okay, what can this story possibly have to do with the cover? What is this about? Clearly, there are some complex things going on with this book. And I think it takes place over several different perspectives as well as dueling timelines and so forth. So yeah. Curiosities, the cover art definitely did pique my own curiosity. Fantastic. Very interesting. Dorielle Caimi. Next up, we have a Nigerian-Canadian artist by the name of Brianna McCarthy. And I absolutely love the cover art she did for the book Butter, Honey, Pig, Bread by Francesca Ekweyasi. I read this book a couple years ago. In this book, we're following 3 Nigerian women, 2 of whom are twin sisters, as depicted here on the cover. Her distinctive paintings are absolutely stunning. I'll post a couple of them here. They just convey a lot of emotion, and this is the perfect cover for this story, as it is an emotionally charged, packed family drama that takes place over the lifetimes of these 3 women. This also goes to show you why I have a real distaste for cover stickers that are not removable. I know they're promoting the book, but like it obscures a good portion of this beautiful cover art. I also think this text could have been a little bit smaller, but that's just me. Anyhow, beautiful. Brianna McCarthy, you absolutely nailed it. I love it. The next book cover that I want to bring to your attention is by a Canadian artist who mostly does landscape paintings of Newfoundland and Labrador. No coincidence that one of her paintings ended up on the cover of The Innocents by Michael Crummey. Also, Michael Crummey's stories all take place mostly in Newfoundland and Labrador, from what I know. I have yet to read this book. I absolutely loved his book, The Adversaries, from 2023, I believe, or 24. Fantastic. He's a great novelist. I really love his writing. But anyways, the artist here who did the painting featured on the cover of this book, and I will show you the original painting. Her name is Diana Dabinett. Diana Dabinett, yeah, like I said, mostly does landscapes, and she does have a very unique style, which I find really interesting. This is an oil on canvas painting, and this is a lake in Labrador area. So I think it's fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. All right. Next up, we are getting into books that feature some kind of older oil paintings. When I mean older, I mean like from the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s. The first one of these I want to show you and talk about is from the book To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. As you can see, there is a portrait of a young man on the cover. If you've read this, or you know why this choice was made. It does kind of feature one of the characters in the book on the cover here. This painting is an original oil painting called Ayakepa Hawaiian Fisher Boy by Hubert Vos from 1898. This story, To Paradise, takes place partially in 1893 and goes onward from there. So one of the characters is a young Hawaiian man who is living in New York City. So yeah, I can definitely see why she chose this. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it looks like a photograph to me. So brilliant. Awesome painting. I absolutely love this one. I also love that they used a black background and the color of the lettering here. I just think it's very striking. So there you have it. To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara. One of my favorite novels. And I loved finding out the origin story of the portrait on the cover. Okay. Next up, I wanted to find out where this cover art came from. This was one of my favorite books of 2025, All Fours by Miranda July. Just loved it, and I love the warmth that I get from this painting. You can tell it's a painting. It's not a photograph on the cover. And upon Googling it, I found out that this was from a painting called Sunset in the Rockies, an oil on canvas by Albert Bierstadt, painted in 1866. I'll post the image, the painting itself, which is absolutely stunning. This story is set in California, and there's a big cliff here. So I was kind of surprised to learn that it was actually a painting of the Rocky Mountains. As we know, the Rockies don't extend into California. They have the Sierra Nevada mountain range there, but yeah, I just love that one. Well done. Another beautiful, awesome painting by Albert Bierstadt. The next painting or cover art that I wanted to show you and talk about is from the book This Other Eden by Paul Harding. Loved this book, one of my favorites of 2024. And this cover comes from a watercolor painting by the artist Jenny Barron. It was painted in 2020, and this blows me away. I'll show you the original painting just because, I mean, I find watercolor to be the most unforgiving medium to work in. It is so difficult, I find, to paint realistically with. This is a beautiful still life painting, and I just think she really nailed it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I can only wish to paint anywhere near that well and have that much control of the paint on the canvas. I think it's beautiful. Well done, Jenny. Well done. All right, we're down to my last two. This next one happens to be also one of my very favorite books of all time, and I'm talking about The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. What I love about this is that the painting at the heart of this story is a real life actual painting called The Goldfinch, which was painted in, I believe, 1654. So a very old painting. And on the cover here, it shows a ripped paper revealing the painting underneath. So yeah, that kind of gives you a hint as to what is going on in this story. The actual painting is beautiful. I would actually, all of this artwork that I featured in this video are all works of art that I would love to have prints of and hang up in my house. Maybe one day that'll happen. I absolutely love this painting of this little goldfinch. It just is so warm, and like I said, I love how they've used that on the cover. Not showing the whole image, just a little teaser of what's to come in the story, and yeah, perfect. One of the many things I love about what I consider to be a perfect book. So there you have it. The image by, the artist name is Carel Fabritius. I'm sorry if I butchered his last name, but yes, I believe he's a Dutch artist. And like I said, 1654. So one of the older works of art featured on one of my favorite books. Last but not least, I have another one of my favorite authors of all time. The book is called My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. And the featured art on this cover has a very literal title. It's called Portrait of a Young Woman in White. It's an oil painting by Jacques Louis David from 1798, I believe. So there you have it. And it doesn't really have a lot to do with the story directly. The story is centered around a young woman who decides she's just gonna drop right out of life and hibernate for an entire year under the influence of alcohol and all kind of pills and drugs, pharmaceuticals, and yeah, so maybe the expression on the face of this lady is what I think makes it, the perfect cover for this story. if you read this book, you will completely understand. And yeah, I just think it's also happens to be a beautiful painting. So I'd love to have that one hanging up in my house as well. And there you have it. Some of my very favorite cover art, my top 10 that I came up with. And I'd love to know what your favorite book covers are, why they mean anything to you if they do. Do you buy books based on their covers? I know I do all the time, like I said, with varying results, but what can I say? I love the visual impact that a beautiful cover has on a story, and it's like a bonus. You're not only getting the art that is inside the pages of the book in ink and the words and the prose and the creativity and the wild imaginative storytelling, but you're also getting the beautiful art on the cover. So, like I said, I really value that about books. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. And I thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.